Hello and welcome back to my channel. So now that the shower is prepped up and the floors are prepped up, this is the following day, and I'm going to take a measurement from wall to wall, calculate that, divide it by 2, and get the center of that room. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to just get a dry tile and mark the floor and see what I'm going to end up on both ends of the wall there. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just laying out a tile there on that center line. Well, it's actually a mark. It's not a center line yet. You just keep marking and see what's going to happen. All right. I'm hoping to get full tiles from wall to wall. And I already know the answer because the job is done, but I'll let you know that I really got lucky on this one. There's actually no cuts on the side walls, so if that doesn't work, what you do is you still have that center mark. Grab a tape measure, put it on your tiles, the direction that you're going to lay out, and divide that tile. See, if it's 12 inches the tile wide, divide that by 2, you'll get 6. But in this case, like I'm doing right now, just make sure, calculate that, and just divide that, and we'll see. The first outline worked out great, but the reason why I want to do this, because I got to make sure that my wall is going to be lined up as well, because beyond that knee wall in the shower, the tiles are, it's going to go through and through. It's going to be an accent wall from the shower to the other side of the knee wall. So I'm just calculating and seeing where I'm at. All right. And if you're doing cuts on the side, this kind of helps too from not wasting tiles. Okay, so there's my mark. That's that center line I was talking about earlier. So we're not going to use that line. I'm letting you know right now, all these tiles have an arrow on the back of it. I'll explain later on a separate video why that arrow on the back of the tile is. You can just zoom in there, you'll see there's an arrow. About 95% of the times there's always an arrow on the back of the tile. And I'm hoping that you'll come back and I'll explain everything in a new video. So this is my tile edge. It's going against the hardwood there. And the reason why I use the thinner Ditra is because I don't like my tiles higher than the hardwood, where some guys, they have to use that hardwood to kind of flush it up a little bit more. I like it straight through and through. It's just so clean, and it's a lot nicer. So again, what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for a dummy line. This is not going to be my tile line, so I'm just making sure that my tile edge is going underneath the door casing. It's always nice to have about a ½ inch on each side to go underneath the door casing. And if you have to lift up that tile edge, just cut little pieces of cardboard and just put it underneath the tile edge just to raise it to the proper height of that hardwood. Sometimes, in some cases, you have to do that, but it will be cemented in any as well. So now I'm just taking a measurement to my center line. Make sure I'm right on there. And then go to the other wall. Make sure you do another same mark. It does take a while to lay out everything. It's so important. Just take your time with the layout. You'll be so much satisfied. You can easily screw up everything if you don't. So it's always best just to spend about half an hour to an hour. So I'm just putting 2 tiles there, so just to hold my chalk line, just to give it some weight. And I'm gonna snap center line. Always check. You know the rule of thumb. Check 3 times. Sometimes I check 4 or 5. But don't check 1 time and then, oh, I got it. I'm ready to go. Just don't do that. Just take your time. Okay, I'm getting my chalk line ready. Oh, my tiles will hold that chalk line on a proper mark, just to give it some weight. If you have like a warm wire in there, I mean, don't ever put screws into that floor, because you could hit that warm wire and you're basically screwed. You're gonna have to tear the whole thing out, or have somebody come in there and refit those 2 lines that you broke. Well, that's why I always use the tiles to hold down my string line. But it doesn't matter if it's no warm wire or warm wire. It's just I'm getting old, so I might forget. So, anyways, just get ready and chalk your line. Okay, we got our first line checked, but we're gonna make sure that everything is squared. This room is squared. And this is gonna be my dummy line. It's not gonna be my tile line, remember that. It's always nice to have a dummy line, just to see how square that room is. And you wanna make sure that your tile edge is bumped up against the hardwood. You got to make sure the hardwood guy is straight too. Usually when I work on houses, the hardwood is never in. I do my job first, everything's screwed, and then the hardwood comes in later on. Okay, so I'm just putting my string line in there. I'm just making sure that there's no glue on the cement on the hardwood. We'll refit that tile edge to make sure that it's butt up nice and tight against there. Okay, there's my string line. And I'm going to follow that strike line that I use with my my square. Just follow that line. And snap it. There you go. Now we have our dummy line. Now we're going to see how true that room is. So I'm just taking it from that first strike line in the center to see how much I'm off. Don't take it from the wall on this one. Because if you're looking at the screen, on that right side of that wall, that is a foundation wall. Probably about 92% of the time, the foundation walls are always the truest, depending on the framer. But you can't really blame framers, because 2x4s, they have warps and stuff, and when you're framing, things can kind of shift out a little bit. Just making sure, I'm just marking another line with the length of the tile. And I'm letting you know that this room is squared. So I got lucky on this one. So I'm putting my square on that that dummy line. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna mark that, and that'll be my tile line. I just wanna make sure that when I lay my first course, everything is going to be right on that line. Never veer off your line, because if you veer off your line, you can really screw up things. It's very important to have that that line that you follow. Your line is not going to lie to you. Your tiles will, because sometimes they're different sizes. Okay. Hurry up there, Roberto. I'm getting old, so I'm allowed for a little bit of leeway. I really do enjoy my job. Sometimes it's hectic. Nothing's ever easy, but you know, that's what makes you a better person if you can tackle on hard things. So I'm just making sure. Okay, so I'm using my level to hit that on that square line. Okay. So I just grab my piece of tile there. I'm just gonna make sure I'm on that other, check that line too with your square and make sure that you're squared with that tile line. The best tools are your levels, your string line, and your square. Those are the best tools. Then comes your wet saw and your tile cutter. Oh, and also your grinder. Okay, so I'm using that tile to put some weight on my string line. Go down to the other end of the wall. I'm going to strike that line. There we go. All right, set that aside. It's a nice little bathroom, you know. Nice little ensuite. What I'm doing here is I'm going to start laying out some things, and I want to see what the cut's going to be at that shower. I'm going to have the floor tiles. There we go. Got the good. We're all good. I'm going to have my floor tiles line up with the back accent wall, the shower wall. We're going to go with vertical here. Vertical stack. There's going to be maybe about an inch cut off on here because there is a pocket door there. So, again, you just start lining everything up. I'm going to lay a full course down that line. Of course, you just remember you're going to have to cut an inch off against that wall. So now I'm using my 1/16 spacers as well. Always use your spacers. Alright. Just to have a dry fit, just to see how it's going to work out. There. Hope you don't mind, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Got off of work a little bit today early because I'm done my prep up. I'm doing a doggy shower and a herringbone floor. I hope you guys come back to check that out. It's going to be very interesting. The floor, there's a bad crown in the floor on that other job, so it took me about a couple days just to level everything out because the tiles are small and you want to make sure you have a nice even floor. I'm going off a topic here, so my apologies. So I'm tight at that one wall, which is great. But remember, you need to make sure when you hit that back wall, when you're going vertical up that wall for the shower and the tub wall or the accent wall, you got to make sure that there won't be any gaps between that tile and the wall. And like I said, I got really lucky on this one. And the owners are so happy with everything. And most importantly, I'm really happy about it. I can't wait to show you videos or pictures, photos of that turned out very nice. I'll do that on my next video when I start doing the layout for the shower and everything, which is very easy. Like I said, you're just following the wall, the floor up to the wall, the same joint line. Okay, it looks good. So what I want to do is I want to strike a line, that last tile going to the back accent wall, because I'm gonna have to check that line to make sure that my tiles are gonna be a 1/4 inch from that back wall. I don't like to see a gap like that. You can leave an allowance of 1/8 because you can always acrylic and they can paint up to that acrylic. But even 1/8 it can be a little too much, you know. It does take a long time, guys, to gauge everything out. You know, but it's so important. It's so important. And you know, if you're taking on a project, or if you are going to want to start a business one day, and it's always good to learn the old ways. You know, I was taught by bricklayers, the old generation. It was taught by Portuguese, the Italians, Scottish, the English, and these guys, these old timers, they're amazing, you know. And I was very lucky to be part of their life. Unfortunately, you know, I'm in my 50s, and you know, they're passed on, but I do think about them quite often. Especially when they used to yell at me. Don't do it that way. What's the matter with you? You dummy. But, you know, they always said it with a smile. And you know that somebody loves you when they are a little bit hard on you. They just want to see you succeed in life. But I promise I won't yell at you either. So I'm just checking this line to make sure that tile, first course, that's going to be laid out, that I'm going to be square with that back wall. If it isn't, you can, that back wall, sometimes it might not be square, but it's okay. You can cheat things with the when you lay the back wall tiles. So just making sure. Everything looks good. All right. Thank you for being patient. It really means a lot to me. I know I can be annoying. My mother always tells me that. God bless her. Even my better half, she says the same thing. You're annoying, but I love you, honey. I love you too, honey. Thank you for putting up with me. So, there we go. Now that's going to be my first strike line. So I've got my first course going down from wall to wall. And I've got my first tile I'm going to lay. That'll be my secondary line to follow. Sorry for the long video. Alright, I gave you the thumbs up. There we go. Just taking out my spacers. This floor was immaculately straight. I was very lucky on this. And it's very rare to get a straight floor, even on new builds. I believe there's going to be, against that shower, low profile shower, there's going to be a 3-inch cut there. All right, guys. There we go. Thank you, and come back. Bye.